on each light and dark side, there's some OP characters, there's some cards that make them ridiculously good. There's also some cards that are like banned, right? So let's walk through. You want to start light side or dark side, Seed?
I'll start on light side.
Light side. All right.
Okay,
so we got the big board here in front of us. Who are you thinking?
Start off as. Oh wait.
Who's your number one seed for a beginner? Who do you think?
Luke.
Lukey boy. All right. So we'll open up Luke.
The cards that I would recommend are.
And Seed, explain cards for anybody that has not played the game
cards,
ever
okay.
before. Yeah.
So, Epicenter is a card that I really like. It's when repulse deals 40 extra damage through the block. So like, if you get somebody with a big combo and they're trying to hold their block and regain health, you can hit them with Epicenter, and that stops the regen, and it gives you an extra time for you to be able to deal damage and have extra regen.
And let's think about this for somebody that's a beginner, right? So first and foremost, the cards, you get 3 per character that you can activate
3 per
at any point in
character.
time. Each of them you have to level up by basically unlocking points for your character, right? And as you do,
Level ups.
Yep, you can level up your
characters,
level up your cards, and different characters have different cards that are a bit more beneficial than others, right?
Yeah.
So let's think of Luke. Let's just break down Luke here. What are some of the strengths and the weaknesses of Mr. Luke Skywalker, Seed, and then how would you use the cards to make it better?
Okay, some strengths and weaknesses. Well, his regen's not very good, but also his regen's in the middle. It's fast, but it's not good. He regens the less amount that any other Saber character in the game. So his regen's okay. He has the card Intensify, which I'll get to that in a little bit, which gives him over time, he builds up damage after he deals more damage to. He deals 200 damage to a villain, and that increases his damage by 36. And that keeps on building up over time, and he can be able to do massive amount of damage. And he's a very quick character, and he's on a very fast swing speed, and his abilities are very helpful to new players in the game, and his swing speed is very nice, plus the Intensify card, that makes him just a really nice character for a beginner.
Very nice. So he's basically like the glass cannon of the game, right? Does a ton of damage, takes a lot of damage though, very quick, can't regen a lot of his health. Smog, what do you think of Luke? You think he's good for a beginner?
Great one. Smog?
Any thoughts? Maybe not.
Smog's AFK right now.
He's got 4 different outfits. See, which one do you run?
Hoth, but that's just my preference. I like that one.
You like Hoth. We're gonna unlock that.
I will recommend never wear Yavin Ceremony. Never in your life.
Well, in that case, guess what, everybody? We're running Yavin Ceremony.
No!
Why do you hate this one so much, out of curiosity?
Because it's ugly. Look at it.
It is
just
very
a yellow pea jacket. That's what I think it is.
Very, very ugly.
Okay,
all right, so we got that. We're gonna get him some emotes here. Which emote would you use on Luke?
Just all of them.
I guess it doesn't matter anyway. These are all just. So for anybody that's new to the game, these are just all cosmetic, right? Serves no purpose.
And also rush immunity is another one of his cards, which he is after he uses a rush ability, which is his R1. He takes 15% less damage reduction for the next 3 seconds every single time.
Which card is this?
Rush immunity. So if you're a new player, I would put on Epicenter, Intensify, and Rush immunity. Those are the 3 I recommend. You can use any card setup you want, it's preference, but those are the best cards in my opinion.
And for what it's worth, so again, Rush immunity gives you that little window where you do your dash attack, you spin around like a crazy person, you can't take any damage during that time, or it's significantly reduced, right?
Yeah,
so
15%.
Seed, I'll tell you, I use that oftentimes to get away from things, like Kylo Ren's Frenzy or other moves.
I like using it for combos. It's just a little bit different. You can use it for anything you really want, but if you're a new player, maybe you want to get, maybe you're low and you want to get away from the person just a little bit, you can regain your health, you could, or like I like using it for if you hit somebody with, let's say they're super far away, and you can't get to them in time, I like getting the rush to get to them,
Okay.
And maybe I can combo with it. It's just, and also, you know how you can like, I'm not gonna get into the more complicated combos because that's not what this video's for.
No. This is all for the beginners.
Yeah.
So Luke, those are your 3 cards. And Seed, is there any other card that you would consider switching one of those out, or are you like 100% of the time those are all the cards you would ever use?
Those are all the cards that I would use.
All right. So everything else is garbaggio.
The only one that's decent besides that is Jedi Fighter. Wait, it's melee strikes, but it's not that good, but like, I would recommend Epicenter, Intensify, and Rush Immunity. Those are the 3 ones that I recommend.
All right, and Smog, you like Luke for a beginner? You think he's a good character? Staple for light side beginner. So if you... Wow, he's also got, apparently, he's got this pose that looks very New World Order. He's doing the little triangle thing. Oh, you can't hear you on the stream. Oh, no, it's gotta be your, it's your privacy settings there, bro.
Wait, you can hear me, right? You can hear me.
Oh, yeah.
I already changed that.
Alright, so Luke Skywalker, number 1 seed from Take a Seat is Luke Skywalker. If you're a newbie, grab Luke. If you wear the yellow jacket, he will make fun of you. Alright, so number 2 seed, who are you thinking? Who's your 2 seed?
See, a part of me wants to say Vader, but we're not gonna swing that way.
Oh,
so
no, dark or light side for right now, right?
Oh, light side for right now? Another beginner character?
Yep, who would you go with number 2?
Is number 2?
What do you think? Rey,
probably
Anakin?
Obi-Wan. I'll say Obi-Wan just because...
Obi Wan Kenobi. Alright, let's dive into Obi-Wan.
I wouldn't say Rey, Smog, just because, I don't know, it just doesn't... Because you need to know some combos with Rey. You know, good new players, kind of defensive fresh. 3rd, yeah, I'm good with that. Yoda's probably the most difficult one to use.
Alright, so see, while I'm unlocking these emotes, because I never emote, so I don't have them, you want to walk through why you think Obi-Wan is your number 2 for a beginner?
Yeah, I can. You want to go with cards first, or just like him in general?
Yeah, just in general, why do you like him?
Well, his damage is in the middle. It's not that good, but you can use it for like his defensive arc was 180 damage. So that's very good comboing. If you wanna like for a new player, if you wanna push them away, you're probably not gonna know how to lunge off it yet. But like you can push him away to get away, or it's extra damage in general. And his defense is the best in the game. He has the most stamina and the most health regen.
Okay.
And that's just very helpful for a beginner. When they get hit a bunch, they can just regen their health up, and when they're lock attacked, you know, he's got that extra stamina, the most stamina in the game, that can keep him going. So he's a very, very good defensive player, the best in the game. So I just think that's good for a beginner player, just because the defensive health and defensive stamina really helps the person to get around to the kill with the abilities.
Alright, so he's tanky, he can survive for a long time, his offense is decent. What do you give him defensively? You give him an A, and offensively you give him what, a B, a C?
I give him a B, and then defense to S tier.
S tier on the defense. All right.
Yep.
All right. So if you're looking at his cards, what do you recommend?
See, this is interesting. So I just changed one of my cards. I was running Quick and Focus, but
Quick and Focus. Let's see. Quick and Focus.
No, I was running it. I was.
You were running Quick and Focus, which is okay. So this is your push is quicker.
And then I just changed it to Safeguard. I changed it out to Safeguard. And you can read that to the audience if you want.
Yeah, so, and see, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the one where your stamina gets drained slower, right? Yeah. But you gotta take some damage, block some stuff, all
two
that
abilities,
before it builds
two
up.
lightsaber attacks with his block. Obi-Wan gains a permanent reduction of 2% to all his stamina cost to maximum. This effect resets when Obi-Wan is defeated. So maximum stamina cost reduction is 40%.
So he can just block forever. Basically.
He can just block forever, and he just gets.
Oh wait, I might be in the stream now. I just changed the setting. Hold on.
All right.
And then there's.
All right. So you used to use quick and focus, but now you don't, and you're using safeguard. See, real quick. Before we continue, if you're a newbie, you're beginning the game, Jedi Resilience is a card that for advanced players is considered off limits because it's unfair because it makes him so good defensively. But if you're a beginner, run the card. You should use it all day. So see, why is this such a good card, and for a beginner, why is this a must use? What does this do that makes him so good?
Well, if you just look at it, he's already a tank, already has 300 health gem, which is already the most in the, actually no, Grievous 350, so he's the second most in the game, just by default. And if you add this on, it's an extra 100, so it makes 400. So let's say someone nails you down to 350 health.
How much does he start with, see?
750.
He's got 750
so let's say
health.
Someone does knock you down to 350 health, and you have this card on, you're gonna always regen back to full HP. So 400 health. So that means you're gonna always have 400 HP. You could be at 1 health, and you're gonna regen back up to 401. So you're always gonna have more than half of your health, no matter what. So it just like by taking that off, it makes the game more balanced and fair.
Gotcha. But for a beginner, this is a must-use card.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Because it just makes beginners they probably don't know how to do certain things like to get their block.
Yeah.
They hit a lot probably, and that health regen really helps them out. So if I was a beginner, I'd use it.
All right. So you're a beginner. Use the card. It makes you near invincible because even if you lose almost all of your health, it doesn't matter because you can regenerate it. So you see, you could go to a quarter of your health and get almost all of it back.
Yep.
Wow. All right. So an unfair broken card. So guys, if you're brand new to the game, feel free to use this. Once you get good and you play a whole bunch, then maybe take it off if you feel like it's giving you an unfair advantage. But until you get to that point, feel free to run it, guys, because the point of this game is to have fun. And so if you're a good player like Seat and you use this card, it just makes you invincible. So he won't use it to try and make it, more fair for other players. All right, but so that's the number one. That's the absolute top. But if you are or are not running that one, Seat, if you take that off the table, what are the other ones?
Here's the card setup.
Yeah, what do you use?
Forward. So forward gives defensive rush an extra 30 damage. So that bumps it up to, I'm pretty sure the default damage is 140, so it bumps it up to 180. And that's a big difference. If we're talking about that's taking off almost 200 of your health. And that, it's really nice to have combos and if you're trying to some people, maybe beginners, use it to get away, but the extra damage to hit, 180 damage is a lot for one hit. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, I mean to put that in perspective, what is Kenobi's lightsaber damage, do you think, roughly?
130.
130. Okay. So this is doing almost 50% more damage with his defensive rush. And what's the other benefit of the defensive rush? See, what else does that allow you to do?
You can't if you try to swing at it, you can't parry it. So it's only affected by abilities. So any ability in the game, actually not any ability, but most abilities that do damage, all abilities that do damage hits defensive rush. But
besides duels.
Besides duelists, but that duelist doesn't really do damage, does it? But kind of getting off track.
No, man. You're
but also
good.
Defensive rush, like I said, you can't parry it or swing through it, so you're invincible going through unless
you're invincible and so you're basically almost invincible, and you can do a ton of damage, 50% more than the standard Kenobi lightsaber attack.
Yeah.
So you can see why that's a hell of a card.
It's a good card. And then Think It Over. It's my second card. It gives Mind Trick, and Mind Trick for new players, Mind Trick takes away the opponent's abilities completely for a certain period of time. And this card increases it by a second, 1.40 seconds. So in a duel, that's a lot of time. So when you do Mind Trick, that person's gonna have their abilities locked away for a longer time in a fight, and that gives you the chance to attack the person and use their offense against them.
Interesting. So you no longer use quick and focus and the quicker push.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to give it all and quick and focus. I'm putting on safeguard and think it over.
Safeguard, think it over, and forward are the new seat combo cards. Okay.
I've been seeing a lot of people use those. And
I'll maybe switch over to think it over. I was not using that one, man.
No, yeah, it's a good card.
And it's worth noting these are all for dueling. These are all for Hero Showdown. If you're running a different mode, don't pick these.
If you're running, I guess we could do another video for heroes versus villains. But this is for HVV.
This is just HVV.
Because HVV is completely different than HS. It's just a completely different mode.
Totally. Alright, so we've got great little start there. So this is taking seats number 2. Obi Wan Kenobi, from one of the best players in the world. His recommendation, number 2 best player for a newbie. So who is your number 3? Who do you think it's Seed?
Rey Palpatine.
Rey Palpatine. Smog, you agree with this?
Yeah.
You agree with Rey as well? And Smog, can we hear you on the stream now or no?
Yeah, you can.
You can. Okay, you want to go through why you do or don't like Rey?
I'll let Smog take this one. I did the last two.
Okay. So, personally, you're gonna want I'd say yeah, you can use all of Rey's cards. Like none of them are like too OP or anything like that.
Okay.
Like all of them are like fine to use in a duel. But
before you go there, Smog, you wanna what's your thoughts on Rey as a character? Why do you like Rey?
She's just like really fun to play. Like she has a lot of good combos. The only thing really bad about her is her slow regen, and like her regen is pretty mediocre. It's like in the middle, but like she has really good combos with like her dash strike, and she can get like
comes back fast.
Yeah.
So is Rey, if you compare Rey to like Luke, right? Luke is also tons of damage.
Luke's better than Rey.
Luke is better than Rey. Okay.
Yeah.
And the tons of damage from Rey compared to Luke. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I guess she can combo parries better with her abilities than Luke, but Luke still's like better than Rey because faster regen and just like better abilities, just like hit
quicker
blocks.
character in general.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, just
more damage.
Alright, so slightly more damage. Luke's regen might not be quite as much, but it's faster.
Yeah, it comes back for like a second.
Alright, so what do you think in Smog, one of the best players here on the net? What cards are you using with Rey? I'm curious if they match the ones that I have.
So I use balance that basically gives Rey an extra dodge, but it takes away 15% damage reduction. I mean, no, not damage reduction, 15% more stamina with her lightsaber. But Rey's stamina is actually like one of the best in the game. I think
and insight gives her more too. So.
Yeah, so that's not even that big of a deal. So yeah, the third dodge is just really good for getting away like from stuff like Frenzy and like Claw Rush. But yeah, that card is just really solid. I think you should be using that in like every mode pretty much. But yeah. Now the second card is kind of controversial. You could either run Resilient Dash or Focus Sight. But personally, I run Resilient
Dash. I don't even have that unlocked. What is Resilient Dash?
I run Focus Sight.
Well, hang on. Let's get Smog and then.
Resilient Dash is good.
I'd like to see Steve's argument for this, but Resilient Dash, it's basically like it gives her 40% damage reduction while doing Dash Strike. And good. So like that's really good against like parry spammers and like it'll be good against like Dooku's and stuff like that.
Yes.
It'll just
But
no, what's your argument for Focus Sight?
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's really hungry to get in here.
No, I want to say something. With Resilient Dash is good, but who's stupid enough to try to parry dash?
A lot of people. Plus, Plus, they can just they could use an ability, and that'll take away damage reduction.
But like, only damage reduction in her dash, though.
And plus, Rey's stamina is already like really good.
Yes, but doesn't Focus Sight? I mean, doesn't Insight give her extra damage too?
Yes, but I feel like it's like
seconds.
About the same amount of damage that she would not taking, and plus her regen is really slow, so like it kind of I feel like you could use observe cards.
You
It's
could use
really
either
up to
one.
you.
Either one.
I've been seeing a lot of the really good players use Resilient Dash, and so I just switched over. I used to use Focus Sight, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
And
so
then third,
focus
obviously.
sight. So focus sight. What's the benefit here of focus sight?
So,
Hang on. Let's go with Smog. We'll go with Smog.
No, he can do it. He's
Okay.
the one that runs it.
Focus Sight, it is, well, Insight, first of all, gives Rey extra stamina and damage. So, well, it's active. And you can see their walls and stuff, but that doesn't really matter in a duel. But it gives her an extra 7 seconds. And that is a big chunk of a time on a duel. Like a big, you could kill somebody, I've killed somebody in 2 seconds before. With Dooku. So you can kill somebody in 7 seconds pretty easily if with Rey, if you get the right combo with her dash. And it just gives her extra damage and extra stamina, so it's just really nice to have in a duel, in my opinion.
How much extra damage are you talking here, Seed? Is it 10%? It's like 50%?
Yeah, 10.
So her her base damage is 120, and then she gets 130 with that ability.
So, and then that she gets an extra 10 damage for another second. And then, how much more stamina should she get? Insight?
I think 50%.
50%. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really good.
For 7 seconds longer. So I just like that card. But I understand with the Resilient Dash, you could use either of them. Either of them is fine.
It's really personal preference.
It's personal.
But I think a lot of people will know what the third card is. Like, obviously.
Yeah, it's the most obvious.
What's the most obvious card?
Damaging strike.
Yeah, it just gives you more damage with that.
More damage with her
Yeah.
dash strike. It's 30% more damage, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's probably.
But here is the thing, though.
Second best card.
It's 30% for purple. We've been saying what it is, like 50% and all that stuff. There's different, like, for damaging strike, if you had gray cards, it'd be 15%.
Right.
Yeah. So we're just saying purple this entire time. We're just saying, like, with the defensive rush card forward, we were just saying like 40 damage. I'm pretty sure it's like 10 with gray, but we're talking about purple here. So when you first start the game, you're gonna have gray cards. So you just need to level your characters up. And actually, if you have gray cards, never mind. You need to unlock all the characters with different levels up, and you get more points. And then you can get up to the purple card by leveling the cards itself.
So damaging strike, the best card you think for Rey?
Second best.
Second best.
Balance is the best. Balance is the best.
Balance is the best. Balance is the best. Okay. Balance the best card. Followed by either Focus Sight or Resilient Dash, it sounds like, and then Damaging Strikes, you guys are saying, is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Alright. So, so third best character you guys are thinking, Rey Palpatine Skywalker. Alright, so, we got Rey, we've got Luke, we've got Kenobi, we got 2 left here. And I think this is going to be curious because keep in mind this is a beginner's tutorial, right? So if you're thinking of a beginner, who is your next character on the light side? Are we going with the Green Goblin or are we going with young Darth Vader here? What do you think?
So this is tough for me because with Yoda, he has an extra the extra health ability. So, but that kind of gives a beginner an advantage. But also with his swing speed really bad, so he can get parried very easily.
Yeah.
And you need to time your stuff really well with Yoda, so that's why he's pretty difficult for a beginner. And with Anakin, he just does so much damage. So, but his stamina's really bad. So I'm gonna go for the 4th. I'm gonna go with Anakin.
Mr. Anakin. All right, so Anakin, 4th place here. You're a beginner. Smog or Seat, who wants to give a little overview?
I'm an Anakin main.
All right, so it's an Anakin main. Tell us a little bit, Seat, why Anakin? What are some of his strengths? What are his weaknesses? What do you think is good about him? What's bad about him?
He only has one weakness. and that is his stamina, which is one of the biggest things in the game.
Well, I'd say he's a little bit slow, maybe, because like
I don't know. All of his abilities are really good, and his damage is crazy. So
passionate's okay, but yeah,
he's a bit slow, and his stamina's trash.
I think maybe we should elaborate on the heroic a little bit.
Yeah. So see, why don't you talk really quickly about what are his kind of capabilities here? What makes him good?
Okay. Makes him good and like what makes him bad, right?
Yeah, well, his moves in general. He's got his 3 abilities. He's got a 4th ability. He's the only character in the game with a 4th ability.
Yeah, he does. Yep. Okay. So with Anakin, his strength is obviously his abilities and his damage. Well, his L1 is his pull, and that can pull somebody. Like if let's say they have their block down, right? Or they're in the middle of ability, you can pull them with Anakin and you can get massive damage off with your like normal attacks and swings. And also, you have a heroic might, which you hold in, and more times people hit the ability, the larger the I think it does more damage and the larger the area of effect is, and that is really good, and that's a really good ability to combo with the pull. You could do it either way. You could do a heroic might, or you could do and then pull and then do 2 hits. That does roughly about 600 damage. You have the right cards on, and that's a very, very good ability. And then the same with Passionate Strike. That is an ability where he lifts up his lightsaber and then goes down on the person. You could do damage when the lightsaber is coming up and down, and the ability goes through block. So it's a very nice ability to get when the person's low on health and trying to finish off the kill.
Gotcha. So tons of damage you can do with him. That Passionate Strike, being able to hit through the block. If you do a lot of damage to somebody, that's a great move to finish him off with, huh?
Yeah, that's a great move.
Alright, but you're saying his stamina's really low. So let's look at his cards. Does he have any cards that benefit the stamina piece? Or what cards are you running with this guy?
So, Tenacious I like running. It gives Anakin an extra 100 health, so he starts with a base 800, and it bumps that health up to 900. Everybody loves an extra 100 health. It's great to have.
So see, why do people get to run this health card compared to, like on Obi Wan, we were talking about how people don't run the other one. What's the difference there?
Because this one is not a regen card. It just gives him an extra 100 base health. So like, he still takes 250. His regen's 250. So when he knocks down, it's not going to be 350 because that health is added onto his base health, where it goes up to 900. And that's just a really good card to have, Tenacious.
Gotcha. So Tenacious, a must-have. What's the next one that you're running?
I'm gonna run Massive Strikes, which this one's a little bit interesting because it gives him an extra 20 damage on his attacks, but it also reduces his stamina by 25%. So this one is a very controversial one. You could have this one on, or you could run Steamroll, which gives his which makes his stamina 40% better, which I don't like it too much because I rather have Massive Strikes on because it gives that extra damage. But if you don't want it and you're new, like if you're newer, like maybe you want to have your stamina or something, or you don't want to do as much damage when it's on the defensive end, I would take Steamroll. But just for a person like me who likes to be on the offense, I like Massive Strikes.
So you're going, alright, so for the newbie here, Massive Strikes if you want to do more damage, but you want to run the risk of the stamina running out pretty quick. And vice versa, Steamroll if you want to get some additional stamina so that you can maybe block and swing a little bit more without worrying about it. But see, it looks like you got to do some hits before Steamroll builds up. Is that right?
Yeah, that is true. You do 200 damage to villains.
Gotcha. But once you do 200 damage at one point, then it's on. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. So that's a good one. I might have to consider that one personally because I always run out of stamina with Anakin.
Yeah.
One of those two is your second card. What's the third you'd go with here?
Raw Strength.
Yeah.
This is the Heroic Might. So the Heroic Might is the ability where I was talking about where you hold in and then you let go. and that can be comboed with abilities like pull, which can obviously massive damage. And this card just adds on to the damage, extra 50 damage, and like who doesn't like some extra damage? And that really adds on to the Anakin combo. Or if you just want to use it and swing, that adds on, and that's why I like running these card setup, because it's all revolved around combos. Like, let's say you're gonna start trading with somebody, or like, let's say you're spamming, if you like a new player, like spamming or something. The anti-nature just gives them extra 100 health, so they can tank that hits. Massive strikes gives them ability to do more damage, and then raw strength adds on to the damage with the combos, an extra 50 damage. So this card setup is my favorite, and it is the best for Anakin in my opinion.
Wow, love it. So
I would agree.
Smog, you're in agreement. Anything else that you would say there, man?
Well said, Steve.
Well said. All right. So see, we got one guy left then on the light side, and it is our little green friend here,
the Gremlin.
What do you think? What's the Gremlins overall? Give us a sense of, what do you like and dislike about the Gremlin?
What do I like? He is one of the, in my opinion, for high advanced players, he is one of the best in the game. But because this is for a beginners, he's one of the worst because of, he's not one of the worst, but he's on the lower end of the beginner side, because his swing speed is just so slow, and he can get countered just very easily if you don't know what he's doing with him.
So why then is he good for a high level player, right?
Well, his parries can be very good if you use them correctly, and that health ability can get you out of abilities like choke with Vader. Like, choke's the best ability in the game, in my opinion, and that gives you the advantage to get out of it instantly, and you can take no damage at all because you have an extra 200 health. I think it's 200, 250, I'm not sure. And that is just really helpful. And then his dash, you can combo with your normal attack, because when you dash, you can also get another attack because it staggers them a little bit. So it's just, and then his timing and everything is good for a player that knows how to use him. And he's just like a very good overall player for a person that knows how. Like Soundwave, that's Soundwave's best character is Yoda.
Wow, okay, Soundwave's best character is the Little Green Goblin. Very difficult to play with. What cards are you running? I just realized I'm running literally a 1-bar card here. Who do you go with? See, what are your cards here?
So I would start off with agility. This gives Yoda an extra dash attack. Like, his dash attack it goes through block, and giving him an extra one just gives him that ability to just add on damage over and over again. And that is Yoda's second best ability, in my opinion.
Okay.
Actually, all three of Yoda's abilities are very good. I think they're all like about the same skill level.
Okay.
Abilities. And agility, like I said, but it does decrease the recharge rate of it by 10%, which that is not too. That's not
a big deal.
Yeah, not that big of a deal. I just like that one a lot. I think it's the best one.
Alright, so agility's his best card. What do you think second best?
Do you think agility's his best card?
Maybe not his best.
I don't even run agility.
You don't run agility?
Wow, what are the cards? What do you think is best?
About it. He said that Field of Force was better than that.
I don't think I don't even run Field of Force.
Okay, so what are your 3 cards then? Agility, and then what other 2?
Agility, and then opposing the dark side, which Yoda deals more damage with his lightsaber attacks to heroes. It's 16 extra damage, but that adds on after a while. 1600 damage.
Okay.
16 damage, extra damage. I really like that card.
Alright, what's your third then?
Jedi Mentor. Yoda receives less overall damage, so like by 8% is damage reduction.
That's pretty.
And I like that because let's say you're getting attacked by let's say Vader, right? You're in choke with Vader, and you can get out with presence. Let's say you don't have presence. That 8% damage reduction really helps you to dim down the damage from what Vader's doing, or any other character like Dooku or something. And I just think that's that card setup is good to me. I know a lot of people don't run that, but I really like that card.
Smog, what are your 3 cards for this character?
Personally, I run opposing the dark side, Jedi Mentor, and Field of Force. It's really personal preference.
Now, why is it size matters not is supposed to be? It's unfair, right?
Yeah, it's.
So this card is OP, but if you're a beginner, you're gonna rock this card, right? This is his best one. If you're a noob.
Yeah, that's his best card. Yeah. But one thing Seed forgot to add, or at least I didn't hear it, is that if you take off agility, it makes his dash recharge rate actually 10% faster, because agility takes away 10% recharge time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to get going in a little bit, but
yep. No, this is a good.
We can do dark side in another stream or another video.
Yeah, we'll do dark side another time. This will be the light side. So
yeah,
I mean that gives a pretty good. I think that gives a pretty good sense of the light side sabers. Again, Luke number 1, Obi 2, Rey 3, Anakin 4, and Yoda number 5. And like we said, guys, if you're new to the game, use that Obi-Wan health regen card. It's totally unfair, but you should use it.
And the same with size matters not.
And use size matters not on Yoda. Use those cards, man. You know, when you get better and you start feeling like, hey, maybe I'm a little too good to use these, take them off. But that's the light side. I hope everybody uses this, finds it valuable. We'll do one for the dark side.
Yep.
And then we'll start doing some tutorials around gameplay, you know, how to manage your stamina, how to you know, how does the health work in the game, all that kind of stuff. So we'll make additional videos, but this will just give you a sense of those characters and hope everybody finds this helpful.
Are we doing the dark side one tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll do dark side tomorrow.
Alrighty, cool.
Okay, guys,
alright, everybody, have a good one.
It to you. Have a good one, bye.
You too. Peace out, Smoggy boy. Take it easy.
What's up, bro?
Peace.